Hi, my name is Jay. I have been selling on eBay since 1998, and I own a collectibles, nostalgia, antiques, mid-century modern junk shop for the last 14, 15 years. Um, and the great thing about having a store is people bring stuff in to sell. And that happened to me in a completely unexpected and fantastic way last week. Somebody came in to sell me records, which I buy and sell a lot of, and they also came in with a tub filled with 1980s sort of heavy metal concert shirts. And I've never had this many concert shirts come in at once. I maybe find one good vintage concert shirt about a year now. That's about it, at least at thrift stores. But this was all at once. So I'm just going to go through some of them. Eventually, they'll all be going up on eBay. No, actually, not all of them, because there's some I really want to keep. The only thing that kind of is off about them is they're on the smaller side size. They have they're mostly men's medium and men's large, which back in the day, I don't know how people fit into those because they're tiny. But I remember a lot of these when I was growing up. It tells you how old I was. Just before I became, as I was a teenager, seeing these at head shops, or like your friend's older brother wearing these because they went to the shows and they were pretty badass. So I'm just kind of randomly going to go through them. I got 52 shirts all at once. I know, crazy, right? So some highlights. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Ozzy Osbourne, Bark at the Moon shirt. It's double-sided. Yeah, that's nice. And then it's also got the on each of the sleeves some graphics as well, which is kind of cool. It's single stitch, and these are Canadian because I'm in Canada tags. So that's, I think it's Diff Fox. But you can sort of see, I don't know if you can see that tag. I'm not going to do tags for every single one, but just to give you an idea. There you go. What else we got down here? This, I think, is a bootleg shirt, probably from a head shop, but it's the Rolling Stones, probably circa 1982 or 83. It doesn't actually have a date on it. Pretty cool graphics on there, and same thing on the sleeve, which is kind of nice. Somebody ripped the tag off on this one, but so just I'm going to provide measurements on there. But yeah, I'm old and slightly overweight now, so there's no way I could fit into these. Oh. Although I think it would be funny if I did put a few on, but that's never going to make it to video. Okay, so this is the Who for the 1982 North American tour. Great graphics with several themes from the albums on there. There's the Tommy Ball and Who's Next and things like that. And it's a little bit dingy in the arms, but these are all super threadbare too. Like, they are legit worn. Not thrashed or anything, but yeah, they've got age to them. Sponsored by Schlitz. Who doesn't love a good beer tour? Yeah, all you can make out on this tag is it's just that it's medium. Doesn't even say, or if it did, it's gone. Who made it? Sorry, I should probably have those so I don't have to keep dipping down. But anyways, Judas Priest. Yeah, that's for the 1986 tour. It's actually in pretty better shape than most. A lot of the whites on these are slightly dingy from wear and have a lot of pilling. This one is in pretty good shape, pretty bright white. If you can see, it's for the Canadian tour, which is kind of makes it even harder to find, I think, because most concert shirts are specific to Canadians. They wouldn't have printed as many as for world tours and North American tours. And it's got the Electric Eye. Now this one is actually it's an extra large adult, which would probably be maybe a large by today's standards. Yeah. Oh. love this because these were all the bands I listened to before I discovered punk rock. Scorpions. And that is for which tour? Right? The 1984 Love at First Sting tour. Yeah, and it's got graphics on the arm. And that guy's rocking out. Look at that. Yeah, I'm going to want to edit that sound out later. There were a few things in there that weren't specifically rock shirt related, but just kind of fun anyways. But like here in Canada, we have the CFL, much older than the NFL. Yeah, we taught you guys football. And this is for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's one of the concession things, probably from the early 80s, late 70s. It's their little, I guess, apron? Sure, anyway, somebody will be into that, like who's into Canadian football. There were quite a few from the 90s. I'm going to do those a little later as well. But this one, now normally you see these with the Def Leppard on there, but this one doesn't have Def Leppard on there. It was probably just the, just probably sold from a head shop. Again, Rye Sports, made in Canada tag, early 1980s clearly. This I remember dudes wearing this tank top. I wanted one so badly, never got one. I wasn't a cool kid. Sorry, there's just so many shirts, and I didn't really organize them before I got to. That's all the 90s ones. Even this one, this is 1980s. I don't think this was originally supposed to be a cutoff. I think it was originally a full-size shirt. No, there's stitching on the arms. Yeah, no, this was a cutoff. Stitching on the arms and on the bottom. This thing is tiny, though. Like, I mean, like, little girl tiny. Double-sided for Coney Hatch. I'll have to look up that album, but it's, again, probably the 1980s. Okay, my favorite shirt out of all of them, and it sort of one of these things doesn't belong, but I guess it does in a way. Yeah, like a really early, I'd say late 70s, early 80s Clash shirt. I don't think it's a tour shirt. I have to do a bit more research on it. I think it would have been something that was sold in the head shops, but it could have been a tour shirt. Who knows? You got it's a green ringer. The tag is pretty faded. I can't even make out who's on that, but maybe somebody out there knows a bit more than me does. But this thing is tiny. It's like a little kid's shirt. But still, like, amazing wall hanger. This is probably one I'm going to keep and just either frame it or something, because it's awesome. This is another Aussie Bark at the Moon shirt. Same graphics on the front and back as the other one, but slightly different arm things. It just has his name in that Aussie sort of graphic on the sleeve. The other one was more blue, and it showed him as his like werewolf counterpart. Sonatex, made in Canada tag. This is nice. Scorpions, it's the 1984 shirt, tour shirt. Yeah, a little bit dingy, but in kind of like an authentic way. No tag on this one, so I'm going to have to do measurements for sizing. What else have we got here? Like, they just keep coming. Like, I just remember when I got the tub and opened it up, I was a little skeptical at first because there were some 90s shirts sitting on the top, and then all of a sudden, the Michael Schnecker group. It's just single-sided tank. Did I say Schnecker? I meant Snicker. Anyway, Street Heart. This is a Canadian band. They were sort of like a metal hard rock band, not really like metal, but harder rock. Used to get a lot of airplay here in Canada. I don't know if they were even known down in the States. But again, company Sonatex tag. It's got a little beaver on it. Nice. There's another Who shirt. This one was probably, it doesn't make a tour date on there, but it was probably like a head shop type shirt. I remember seeing these every time I went in those places. Double-sided, and it's got the graphic on the arm, mid-80s. Can't really see that, can you? Yeah, there you go. Let's just get a whole stack. Don't fall. This is one of my favorite shirts out of the group. The Stones. It was for the 1981 Rich Stadium sold-out date on September 27th. Journey and George Thorogood and the Destroyers opening. This one's for the, let's say, the Buffalo show. It's specific to that Buffalo show. So they probably didn't print as many because it was just for this one show. It's such a great image of the Dragon and Rich Stadium there. I mean, it's killer. Does it have a tag? No, the tag's out of that one too. Say these are all single stitched at the arms and all clearly made. Here's a 1990s one. It's Van Halen. You can see that. Yeah. See, the sizing gets a little better on the 90s ones. It's from the 91-92 tour. It's made in the USA, medium. And that's closer to what would be a modern standard medium nowadays. And here's slightly earlier Van Halen one, 1986 5150 tour. Yeah, no tag on that, but this is ooh, wrong way. It's the Boston Third Stage 1986, I think. Yeah, Canadian tour again, so it's probably not as many printed. Just has those Canadian dates. Unique to Canada, which is kind of cool. Another Canadian metal, well, more hard rock than metal. They were like hair metal. Helix. I know they did do some touring in the States. This is Walking the Razor's Edge tour from 1984. Yeah. It's another Raglan. What is this? Oh, okay. It's Def Leppard. Again, not specific to a tour, but probably sold through a head shop. It's got the Pyromania cover there, and then on the back it's got the previous album to that, which I could be mistaken, but On Through the Night. And it's got the Def Leppard graphics on the sleeve, which is kind of dope. And it's probably going to be a Canadian tag. Yeah. New West, made in Canada. Men's medium. What we got here? Scorpions tour shirt. That's for the North American tour, I think. When was this? I'm pretty sure this was, yeah, 1988. There you go, just a plain shirt. It's just not much on the tag, just says 100% cotton. Made in the USA. And if you look, I don't know if we'll be able to get that in there or not, but right there, it's got the copyright date, everything on it. Aerosmith. Back with the original drummer. This is a tour shirt, but I'm not sure what year without looking. See that there, but it says that's 1993 because there's the thing right there. Yeah. So here's one. 1980s Twisted Sister. This is from the 84 Stay Hungry tour. Star prints, small. Is it the same made in the USA? Yeah, made in the USA. So yeah, it's pretty good. Another stack of stuff. Yngwie Malmsteen. His tour shirt, there's the back. It's for the 85 Rising Force. Single stitch. This is, oh yeah, Robert Plant World Tour, 1988.